Lift Every Voice, Black History Celebration 2021, a production of Get Outreachworks C program. So who is Get Outreachworks, and what does GET stand for? It stands for Gathering, Evolving, and Transforming. Get Outreachworks is a nonprofit organization designed to promote education, diversity, and community growth. Get Outreachworks has developed a cultural immersion through educational programs, otherwise known as CEEP. And this program provides service to the town of Shelburne and surrounding communities, bringing educational awareness for students and the community to understand the value of Black history through programming and special events. We have also partnered with community business owners within the Dufferin County, such as Johnny's Pizza, during the Pizza Challenge, to support the community during COVID-19 relief. And who are our Get Outreach members supporting our event this evening? Here they are as follows: Nicole Jeffries, Adrian Kelly Robinson, Sonia Calder, Claudette Kelly, Simone Thomas, Dwight Gordon, Andrea Kelly, Derek Davis, and Yvonne Montel. We welcome you tonight to Lift Every Voice, and we hope that you will enjoy our production as we highlight various individuals who will share their stories and their contributions of excellence to their communities. They have left indelible imprints and legacies for generations to come. These special individuals are trailblazers, and their stories will encourage and inspire you to know that every voice ought to be lifted. And with that being said, we would like to read our land acknowledgement. We respect and acknowledge that Dufferin County resides within traditional territory and ancestral lands of the Tinotoni, Patun, Attawandaron, Neutral, Haudenosaunee, Six Nations, and Anishinaabe peoples.
Hello, everyone. This is Deputy Mayor Steve Anderson from the town of Shelburne, and I want to take this opportunity to wish all of you happy Black History Month. I also want to take this opportunity to thank Get Outreach for providing this platform where we could all share our feelings of what Black history means to us, really highlighting Black excellence. And so Black History Month means exactly that, Black excellence, recognizing the excellence in the past, the present, and also looking forward. And for me to be here as the first Black deputy mayor for the town of Shelburne, the first Black lawyer at the Toronto Transit Commission, what that shows and what that demonstrates to me, and what it should demonstrate to all of you, is that anything is possible when you know your value and you know your worth. Do not let anybody tell you that you are not capable, that you do not belong, and that you cannot achieve. The world may want to see you as a depreciating asset, but know that you are gold, solid gold. And so my message to you this Black History Month, once again, is know your value. Be confident in yourself, believe in yourself, and anything is possible. Once again, happy Black History Month.
Hi there, my name is Lindsay Wegener, and I am a counselor for the town of Shelburne. I am so honored today to speak about what Black History Month means to me. It's a time of rejoicing, celebrating, and thanking those ambassadors of change for giving us hope and life lessons that will be used to continue to advocate for equality among us all. It's about integrity, leadership, and determination. Sacrifice, challenge, perseverance, and success. It's about being brave enough to stand for change and strong enough to see it through. Allowing us to acknowledge the faults and failures of our ancestors and fight to achieve equality for us all. To recognize the struggles and injustice experienced by the BIPOC community. both in history and currently. Black History Month continues to provide an outlet of education that should be celebrated beyond the month of February to proceed with the important work of eradicating systemic racism, uniting people of all races, and creating solidarity in our communities. A wise leader once told me, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable to ensure important conversations are started. Be the change, overcome the challenges, and succeed in creating a world worth leaving for our children. Thank you so much for the privilege to speak with you as an ally for change.
Hello, my name is Jess Rowden, and I'm the Equity and Inclusion Lead for the Upper Grand District School Board, which branches all the way from the south end of Guelph, north to my small community here in Minto, and reaches all the way across east to Shelburne, Orangeville, and Erin. As a white cisgendered woman, I'm here leveraging my privilege to ensure that the voices that have been historically and still continue to be disempowered are raised up, learned about, and celebrated. I'm responsible for supporting our system in understanding and disrupting anti-Black racism, and all other forms of oppression in relationship with various advisory groups and supports. I've been asked today to share a little bit about what Black History Month means to me. The first time that I ever learned about Black history in Canada was in my third year of university. That means I spent 13 grades of public education and 2 years of university here in Ontario without ever understanding the prevalence of anti-Black racism, nor the positive contributions of disempowered people. It was in that class and the research that I did focused on Africville in Nova Scotia that I started on my lifelong pursuit to understand anti-Black racism and advocate for social justice. To me, this month is an intentional opportunity for me and our system to highlight and celebrate the positive contributions and amazing attributes of Black people in Canada and around the world. It is also a reminder that the learning and the efforts do not stop in this month, and they continue always in education. There are many benefits to the CEEP program and the offerings of the CEEP team. This is the second year that the CEEP team has generously offered their knowledge, passion, and experiences with our Dufferin schools during Black History Month. The CEEP folks spend countless hours organizing, creating, and offering learning opportunities for students to see examples of Black brilliance through powerful delivery of Black history and other learning opportunities. These opportunities are supportive to the work happening within the schools and the directions of the Black chapter student groups within the school system. Students and staff, Black, white, and everyone, benefit deeply by the learning and the relationships offered by the CEEP team. I know I speak on behalf of the entire Upper Grand District School Board when I say how appreciative we are for the offerings of the CEEP program. Thank you very much.
Everyone lift every voice and sing. A declaration that causes our ears to ring with sounds of freedom, dispersing from lips once kissed by fists of injustice. More than vibrations of chords become vocal, our voice congregated to points that were focal on liberty. See, we sang because we weren't free. And though constrained physically, we sung until we were free. Despite the hate that was faced, it could not displace our faith. They tried to have our identities erased, fearful of the image in which we were made. We are royalty, with undeniable power and authority running through our veins and arteries. Our brains were enchained mentally, but eventually truth set us free. It took voice and action just to be seen properly. But we were never meant to be property. So with every opportunity, we use our voice to sing and lift. Because our presence on earth perpetually confirms that we are gifts.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Born in Toronto, Ontario, singer-songwriter, actress, and activist Julie Black has built a legacy for herself in Canada. Julie has been crowned Canada's Queen of R&B and was named one of the 25 greatest Canadian singers by CBC Music. At just 19 years old, Julie was discovered by Warner Chappell Music, a division of Warner Music Group, and got signed right away. Soon after, she would get offered a deal with Universal Music Canada. She first burst onto the music scene in 1998 with the song Rally In, featuring rapper Socrates, and released her debut album This Is Me in 2005. In 2008, Julie Black took home the Juno Award for R&B Soul Recording of the Year for her sophomore album, Revival. A platinum-selling recording artist, she has had multiple singles climb the Canadian charts, including her hit song, 7 Day Fool, peaking at number 9 on the Canadian Hot 100. Over the years, she's shared the stage with many artists such as the Black Eyed Peas, Celine Dion, Kanye West, Etta James, and many more.
Hey everyone, what's up? It's me, it is Julie Black, and I am so grateful to be sending you this message. Happy Black History Month. I want to say thank you to G.E.T Outreachworks for taking the time to honor me, but really honor the legacy of these two people over my shoulder. My mom and dad, who came from Jamaica in the 60s and decided to make life, to truly gather, to evolve, and to transform the lives of themselves and their children. To sit and to speak about myself would be a little bit strange, kind of, sort of. But I really do appreciate all that has happened in my life. I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, I am an activist, I'm an actor, I'm an entrepreneur with many businesses. I am an honor student, a graduate of Seneca College and law enforcement. I'm an author, a speaker, a humanitarian, but most importantly, I am the child of God. I'm a Christian who believes in Jesus. And I really love the scripture that says in Philippians 2:5, your attitude should be the same as that of Christ Jesus. And so I really wanted to just come on here and say thank you and let everyone know that it is my true privilege to do this work, to be a bridge. You know, it says in the Corinthians, go and make disciples of all nations. Sorry, in Matthew 19, I believe it is. Go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, and teaching them to obey everything I commanded of them. And surely I'm with you. Surely I will be with you until the end of the day. And so it makes, with this music and with this message, I really wanted to just let you all know that you and I were all disciples, and it is our duty to truly support and serve community. So thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you for all that you've done and all that you're about to do. And thank you for celebrating me, my family, and Black History Month. Peace.
These next special individuals are trailblazers, often receiving very little recognition for their significant contributions and accomplishments, providing support to their communities. These unsung heroes are courageous, powerful, resistant, fearless, and positively inspiring.
Through your story, it's my fingerprint in the valley.
Ronald and Claudette Kelly are presently pastoring at North Peel Community Church and Faith Believers Fellowship in the Caledon and Dufferin County areas, where the mission is to be the church contributing positively to the enhancement of a diverse community, ministering to the complete person, and to partner in the delivery of social programs and economic opportunities that will minister to the individual to reduce the challenges faced by the community, ultimately bringing souls to Christ. This dynamic couple immigrated from the island of Jamaica in search of a better life in Canada. While here, along with raising a family, they continued their passions and calling, supporting their communities with over 40 years of service. This great legacy to the community, they implemented many programs, such as Hopeful Village Youth Camp, where Ronald Kelly was the recipient of the Order of Canada in 2012. Additionally, seniors programs such as SPARE. And they have partnered with community members in food drives, supporting the homeless, community cultural days, and more. We applaud their great achievement and commitment to their community.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Claudette Kelly, and I'd like to talk about a little bit about my journeys. I grew up in the West Indies. My parents were community workers. My dad was a constable, and my mom raised everybody's children. And so they taught me how to be kind, be respectful, be honest, and to be a good worker. With that in mind, I immigrated to Canada, and I had all those attributes. They never left me, and so when I came here, it was my desire as a young person to give back to society. And so I remained as a young person in the church until I got married, started a family, and began to raise my children with the same values. Today, my journey and the way that I was raised has caused me to carry the same attributes into Canada, where when my husband became a minister, I was a big supporter of all his efforts. We did community work. We cared for young people the most. And then going along in this journey, we cared for the seniors in our community and different activities that would be helpful to our community. And today, I would like to say that just lifting our voices represents not only speaking about the past, but speaking about the future of our young people. And I would say that it's very important to teach our younger generation how to love, how to respect, and how to be kind. That's looking into the future. And so we don't know what the future holds for us, but we know that if respect and kindness and sharing continues in our life, then it will carry forward into the future, and we know that other generations will be blessed.
Good afternoon. My name is Ronald Kelly. I'm the senior pastor of the North Peel Community Church, along with my wife of 52 years, Claudette Kelly. She just mentioned the situation with our journey. Our journey is not a sprint, but a marathon. And as a result of that journey, we have mentored both young men and young women. Now some are pastors and leaders of communities in different areas. I've worked as a chaplain in the Brampton, Caledon, and Mississauga area. I have been able to sponsor different programs such as senior programs, community programs, and different areas of support in the community. This journey took us into an area called Caledon, and subsequently we were able to move into the Shelburne area. We have worked in Caledon and the Shelburne area, and now we realize that we could not have done all of this without the support of God. I'm confident that with God, all things are possible. If we want to work with God in ministry, we need to understand that we have to give him our all and start right where we are in little things, and he will promote us into larger things. God is able to open doors, solve issues, resolve problems, and guide our feet in the way of peace. I would like to encourage all our prospective ministers, whether male or female, to lift your voice. Be heard. Don't be silent. The enemy really wants to silence us, but God wants us to speak it and speak it ever. Cost what it will. We want to get out there and do the work of God in spite of what the enemy decide to do for us and against us. So lift your voice. Be heard, because many have lifted their voices, and as a result of that, we are here and we are able to carry the message of salvation and the message of hope and the message of peace to many communities. Thanks be to God for his grace and his power that he has empowered us to work in the different areas that we are currently working. Thank God for the North Peel Community Church that is in Caledon, G.E.T Outreachworks, and Faith Believers Fellowship. Without God, we would have not have been able to work in such areas to empower people in different communities with different programs that is essential to their spiritual well-being. God bless you.
Ellen Ukren is a first-generation Ghanaian Canadian residing in the GTA. She has worked her professional career advocating for marginalized communities in the criminal justice system, education system, non-for-profit sector, and healthcare systems. With lived experience as a Black mother, it propelled her to fight against injustices by educating audiences such as the police, teachers, and children aid societies within the GTA. Additionally, she offers a series of workshops titled Think Black, which looks at the intersecting identities of the Black community in Peel. We welcome her today as she shares her story.
Hi everyone, my name is Ellen Okren. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a proud Black Canadian. I'm so excited to be able just to share with you very briefly about what Black History Month means to me, what being Black in Canada means to me, and just share a little bit of my insights. Initially, I think the narrative that we've been told as Canadians is that, slavery did not happen in Canada. But if we look back, there is documentation going back to, I believe, the 1600s that does demonstrate that there was slavery in Quebec and in other areas that I'm sure we don't even know of. But needless to say, I think it's important to mention this because for so long, we've kind of shifted this idea of anti-Black racism into our brothers and sisters in the South, in the United States. But that's not always true. And that oftentimes removes the accountability on our parts as Canadians. I think it's important for us to seek color. I know as a first generation Ghanaian living in Canada, my parents did their best to ensure that we assimilated to Canadian culture. And that oftentimes meant losing a lot of our Blackness, a lot of our Ghanaian heritage. I think more now than ever, I'm proud that I'm able to reclaim that, and I'm able to do so unapologetically. And that's the beauty of this, of what's going on currently. Black History Month is super important because we cannot eradicate what has happened, but slavery is not just our culture or our history. As a matter of fact, it is not our history at all, right? We were kings and queens. We were artists and mathematicians and innovators long before we were considered slaves. And that's just a fragment of our history, but it's not all of our history. So I use Black History Month to reclaim my Black joy, to look at the Black accomplishments around me each and every day, not just in the month of February, but throughout the course of the year. I really urge everybody to practice being anti-racist, and not just non-racist, not just complacent in this argument, in this war for our lives, for our rights, and for our freedom that is still ongoing, that is still pending. I believe the more allies we have, the better the outcome will be for everyone. I always say to people when I talk to them, if we help the most marginalized individual based on their social index, we by default will be helping everyone. And that is the mantra that I live by. If you can help the person that needs the help the most and create programs and policies and invite them into spaces, everyone by default will be helped and assisted. Black History Month is a joyous time for us because we're able to celebrate in this. It's not always about the sadness. It's not always about the gloom that has followed us thus far. It is about the fact that we are champions, that we are fighting a fight that was fought before and is still continuing now, and we haven't let up. Black History Month reminds me to never give up. If my ancestors and those that preceded me didn't give up, I have no excuse. And this is why I'm excited to share this with you all. Thank you so much for hearing me out, and happy Black History Month.
I want to ask you a question, and that is, what is in your life's blueprint? This is the most important and crucial period of your lives, for what you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And whenever a building is constructed, you usually have an architect who draws a blueprint. And that blueprint serves as the pattern, as the guide, as the model for those who are to build the building.
I see a room full of business leaders and surgeons and barristers. I see women who are going to win elections and science competitions and arts awards. Do not be afraid to fail. We can do anything.
If I had worried about who liked me and who thought I was cute when I was your age, I wouldn't be married to the President of the United States.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Just because I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just because I laugh, as if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words, you can cut me with your lies, you can kill me with your hatefulness, but just like life, I rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance as if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame I rise, up from a past rooted in pain I rise, a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling and bearing in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, there I go.
Going home to think about how lucky I am. I've been very fortunate. I'm a lucky dude.
This lucky dude is the Honorable Lincoln Alexander and is one of Canada's most prominent black men in history, becoming Canada's first black member of parliament, the first black chair of the Workers' Compensation Board, the first visible minority to hold the post of lieutenant governor, and the first person to serve 5 terms as the University of Guelph's chancellor.
Well, I guess one of the biggest successes is becoming the lieutenant governor. That's big. And of course, I'm very fortunate. I've met the Queen Percy 2 or 3 times and other dignitaries. President Bush, I met President Bush, Mulroney, my friend, even though some people don't like him, he appointed me as Lieutenant Governor.
Well before being appointed the 24th Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, he served with the Royal Canadian Air Force during the Second World War.
I chose the Air Force because the Navy didn't want you. And if you join the Army, you're bound to get shot. So I was smart enough to say, well, I'll take the Air Force. And I became a sergeant in the Air Force, never went overseas, but I was ready to defend my country.
I know it's crazy to think of this daily. Imagine no one needing guns all at once.
My journey to becoming a lawyer is a bit of a unique one. Prior to entering law, I was working in the social services field where I worked with youths with emotional and psychological challenges and youths who were facing issues with the law. I was in a troubled marriage with 2 young children where there were incidents which culminated in a violent episode resulting in my ex-husband being arrested and the police advising me to obtain a restraining order. And so I attended the courthouse to obtain a restraining order, and I appeared before a justice, and there I was, a Black woman, and there my ex-husband was, a white man. The justice looked at me and said, quote, "I would advise you to settle this and not waste any more legal aid dollars," unquote. The problem with that was I had never been on any form of legal aid. And so I left the courthouse dejected, but determined. You see, that was a defining moment for me because as I left that courthouse, I made a vow. I made a vow that I would return to that very courthouse, but in a different capacity. So I applied to law school and I was fortunate enough to be accepted. So there I was, a young, single mom with 2 young children ages 4 and 7. And I'll admit, it wasn't easy looking after 2 children on my own and also dealing with a very challenging curriculum. But what kept me motivated was my desire to return to that courthouse. Now, while I was at law school, it became clear to me there weren't many students of color. And so I campaigned, and I was fortunate enough to be elected onto student caucus. And then from there, I requested to be a part of the admissions committee, and they were responsible for admitting students into the law school. You see, I took steps to position myself so that as a person of color, I would have a voice on who entered the law school. Now, at the outset, I was interested in criminal law. And so I applied to be on the criminal law intensive program, and I was fortunate enough to be accepted. And as part of that program, you had to do a placement. And so I requested to be placed at the very same courthouse that I left. I was placed in the Crown's office, where I completed my placement, followed by a summer placement, followed by articling, where I then worked briefly before becoming an agent for the Federal Crown's Office, as it was known then. And I was an agent for over 10 years. Following that period of time, I then opened up my own practice, because now at this juncture of my career, I want to now do something for my community. And so I opened up my own practice where I focus solely on representing youth, particularly racialized and Indigenous youth. What I want to say is, when you're facing insurmountable challenges, remember you have choices. You can choose to let it defeat you, or you can choose to let it inspire you and motivate you. And my message for people in my community, let us lift each other. Let us uplift each other. Let us raise our level of consciousness. Let us band together. You see, we each have something unique to offer. So, let us lift each other and uplift each other. Let us turn up the volume on our collective voices. Always keep in mind, our collective perspective is vitally important. It's vitally important because it enriches and strengthens the very fabric of our society.
Hope you're having a great day. My name is Earl Lapierre, the extraordinary steel panist, or pan man on duty on all social media platforms. I hope you're having a great day. I'm having a nice day, and I'm glad to be here just to share a little bit about my journey, a little bit about the things that I have done and a little bit of the things that I wish to do. And it's very hard for me to talk about myself, so bear with me. It's very hard because a lot of people won't believe that I am a very shy, very bashful, and a little, I'm very humble. So it's very hard for me to express and talk about myself, but I was asked to, so I'm going to try. All right. So my journey is big. My journey in the last, 40 years, 40 plus years, let's just put it that way. 40 plus years has taken me all over the world. I've been to Africa. I've been to Hong Kong. I've been all across this beautiful country of North America, from west coast of Vancouver to the east coast of Fredericton, many states as well. And I'm looking to take this even further and further in the next couple of years, right? The world is yours, as they say. And I think just because of my dedication to this instrument, to the culture of Trinidad and Tobago, where this instrument was invented, it's still considered the newest instrument invented in the world. Imagine, it's over 100 plus years and it's still the newest instrument because there has been no other musical instrument invented after it. And I'm honored just to be able to play and share my talents with everybody. And because of that, I don't want to say highly respected, but I know I'm respected in this industry for my humbleness. I think A lot of people have knows about my travels and the things that I've done. And they're always asking questions, and I'm always willing to teach and always willing to learn from them too, you know, and they're willing to learn from me. I manage DJs, I manage MCs, I manage comedians, I manage a steel band named Afropan, which is Toronto's oldest and most successful steel band that my dad had founded back in the 70s. And now I currently manage Afropan, and it's because of me I took Afropan to Africa. Yes, we went to Gabon, French-speaking place in Africa. Pan has taken me to, like I said, to Hong Kong for Chinese New Year. That was a great experience. What else? So many things that I've done that I don't even know. Let's talk about this COVID period. Because music is all that I do, and this is what I do for my living, everything locked off. So what was I gonna do? Sit down, twiddle my thumbs? No. I started to learn about what you're seeing here. And imagine, this is what you see, but this is what it really looks like. I had the time to sit down and go on YouTube and Google and do all these things. I could go to the beach if I wanted to go to the beach. So you want to go to, let's go to the beach. Let's go to the beach. It's summertime now, you know what I mean? So imagine that. Just learning these things, bettering myself. I said to myself, there's no way I'm gonna come out of COVID the same way that I went in. And that's just me just wanting to better myself. Branding, you know, marketing, doing all of these things just to market myself, brand myself, to make myself reach out there. Lift every voice, right? So this is the way I'm lifting my voice, sharing my talents, sharing my journey with you, sharing my journey with others, all right? So I hope this helps somebody. And I'm always just a phone call away. I'm always just a tweet or a message, just anytime. You could reach out to me on all social media platforms at Panman on Duty. They call me the extraordinary steel panist Earl Lapeer Jr. You can see my email is down below. And like the song said, I hope tomorrow will bring a better you, better me. You know what I mean? We could only make this place a better place. All right? So enjoy the rest of your day, and may God bless you. Take care.
Hello, my name is Jackie Maloney. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are when you're receiving this message. I've been in Brampton for many years, and my first association with organization was with the United Achievers Club. My husband was the president, and that year we started Carabram. My job was to be in charge of preparing the meal. Carabram is a multicultural festival within Brampton, and the Caribbean Pavilion was hosted by the United Achievers Club. This way we get to showcase our art and our culture and the different style of the Caribbean community. One year, we won the award for the best food out of all the other pavilion, which were about 12 or 13 other pavilion at the time. So we won for best tasting food, overall presentation, and the look of everything. We showcase our talent in music, art, and different festival from the Caribbean. One year, the then Prime Minister Brian Mulroney came to visit our pavilion. We were one of the lucky ones that he came to visit our pavilion. And we were so excited that he came. His wife Mila was there as well. Our two young children, 5 and 6-year-old at the time, presented Mila with a bouquet of flowers. And from there, of course, all my children were involved with the Caribbean, with the pavilion. My two girls also had their work to do as well. From there, I joined the Congress of Black Women, the Brampton chapter. And the mission statement was for Black women and their family. We provided support to families to maneuver the educational system, because a lot of parents didn't know where to start when the children get into trouble. So they'd come to the Congress seeking for help. So we were there to help them and guide them to navigate the system. We also provided workshop to the family, to the community, wherein as health, like diabetes, high blood pressure, lupus, just name a few of the program that we ran. The last workshop that we did was in November, was in 2019, and that was to do with mental health. We had quite a few workshops on mental health, but the last one we presented was on mental health. And I was glad to be a part of that, organizing it and getting it going. Of course, due to COVID, we're very limited right now in what we can do, but we're still going. At church, I started a tutoring program for students who were having difficulties. In fact, all students came on board in a way we helped them with their education, to do with math, English, science, French. I wasn't good at French, but I had to learn a few words. So I was there to help students with their education. And after their tutorial class, they were able to go and play basketball. That was a fun time for them. As well as with the Congress, we had a tutoring program going, and we helped students in the same way, providing them with a tutorial program with English, math, science. We had professional teachers come in to help us to educate the students. And while we were doing that, I thought of, these kids are leaving school, high school, and let's introduce them to post-secondary education in a way where we can offer scholarships. So I came up with the idea, put the program in place, and our scholarship was born. And our first scholarship was given to a young lady, I won't say her name, and she went on to do great things. And out of that, our scholarship is still going today. We've also included a single mother going back to school. We offer scholarship to them. So that is one way of helping students who's looking to go into post-secondary institution. As in the Congress, since the COVID-19, I've had phone calls about farm workers being stranded here. Due to COVID, they're not able to go back home to their country. So that posed a problem for a lot of them. So I was able to organize a drive where we collected clothing, like winter coats, jackets, sweaters, socks, boots, whatever, gloves, scarf, hats. And that was so successful. So we had someone came here and pick up the clothes from my home and distribute them to the farm workers. And I was so happy when we got a lovely feedback from them, how much they appreciated what we've done for them. Our organization also helped women and their children who are going through financial crises in a way of monetary gifts, same way clothing, food. We provide food to people in the community who are struggling. Most recently, I had a call that there was a family leaving the shelter and needed help, and we were able to provide furniture and clothing and food for the family. So I find it so rewarding helping the community at large. I just get such pleasure out of doing this. Lastly, I know I've only got a short time. Right now, I'm on the board of director for A Supreme Foundation, and that is an organization that provides care for seniors, 24-hour care for seniors in their home. And there's such a struggle and a need in our community, and this kudos to this community for helping our seniors at this vulnerable time in their life, and especially through COVID as well. We're able to provide seniors with a fruit and vegetable basket once a week, with We have drivers who deliver this service to the seniors and helping them, and they're so appreciative. We're here to help each other, and I enjoy what I'm doing. Thank you so much.
The skin I'm in. The skin I'm in is painted on my body with labels that society has placed. Thug and stupid, gangster, thief, ghetto. But we are not the label they place. With every word, we remove the words they paste. Lift every voice, be who you want to be. Don't conform to society, because deep down within, we can all win. Freedom, justice, peace. But it starts with you and me. Now the question I have for you, what are you going to do? Sit quiet, don't let your voice be heard, or lift your voice, remove every word. Destroy the title that you once held. Erase the words, allow them to be respelled. Instead of ghetto, you're a false Edo in a choir, no longer a thief or a liar. You're now the hero saving the day, changing the world in every way. So lift every voice, let's all unite. Together, we can win this fight.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours.
What does lift your voice mean? Lift your voice means don't raise your voice but improve your argument.
What Lift Every Voice means to me is that every voice matters. No matter what religion you are, no matter what race you are, no matter how much money you make, your voice is important and should be heard. And all of us could learn a little something from everyone, no matter what it is. We all need to be open, and we all need to not only be able to lift each other's voices, but also hear each other's voices. I think that would be a recipe for a better world for all of us, a better understanding, and a world where we can all empathize with each other, we can all learn from each other, we can all grow from each other, and just generally be a happier world.
When you have a voice, you have the opportunity to use it. When you have the opportunity to use it, you need to use it for good. It's not only to help our generation, but it's to help our future generation too. We have to remember that when we are empowered in our belief, empowered in our freedom, we have the ability to make change. And if we don't instill that in our younger generation, how will they ever be able to instill it in their generation and future generations? Lift every voice.
When I hear that, I think of the Black National Anthem. I think of a tribute of strength for our people. Let us continue to lift our voices, to make a joyful noise, to advocate, to communicate, educate, and empower each other for years to come.
So in my perspective, I think that lifting every voice means listening to stories and people who have been left in the dark. We are basically listening to people who haven't had their voices heard. By listening to them and applauding them and just bringing those stories to the surface. So we're not just listening to certain people, but we're listening to every voice. It doesn't matter your gender, it doesn't matter who you love, what you look like, or your race, but we are here to listen to you, to understand your story and your half, and we're there to lift you up.
To me, lift every voice means that we should all speak out about injustices and inequalities that we see around us. We cannot be complacent. We cannot afford to be complacent. We have to unite and shout it out. Hey, that's not okay. That's not okay. Our voices and our words are powerful, and we need to use those weapons. They're weapons, and we can use them. We need to use them because they're so powerful. A change cannot happen if we do not speak up.
Listen to your own voice, your own soul. Too many people listen to the noise of the world instead of themselves.
Lift every voice means speaking up for what's right, speaking up for what you believe in. As a Black guy, it means to me letting everyone know that you're through with how you've been treated and that you're gonna be heard.
Every voice matters. Everybody has a voice for a reason. Everybody has an opinion. Every opinion matters. So I believe that we should lift everybody's voices, and nobody's voice should be like lowered. No one should say, "Oh, your voice doesn't matter," because every voice does matter. As I was saying, yes, no voice should be lowered like George Floyd and all those other Black people that did get killed. George Floyd's voice did not matter in that situation, and he died because he was a Black man and his voice did not matter. They did not care what he said, and he died because of that. So no voice does not matter. Every voice does matter, and no voice should be lowered because in situations like that, you can get killed, and that is not right. That is not what God wanted for this world, and this is what it has become.
Never look back.
Welcome, everyone. This is the end of the show. We had stopped it so that we could do this in person. We truly hope that you've enjoyed the speakers today and what stories of lifting their voices they had to offer. And the fact that we can see that there are social agents working in our communities. We honor them today, and we thank you for joining in. Once again, we are reminded by our speakers that everyone should have a voice, and that your voice should be lifted, and that every voice should be lifted. And we honor them. And so we just wanted to invite now at this time, as we give thanks to our Get Outreachworks members. So we're going to ask them to turn on their camera so that you can be able to see them. And then we'll go through our credits. So if we could have our Get Outreach members join in on their camera. And once we say your name, just give a wave out so that everyone can see who you are. So we'll just take the time for them to do that. All right, and so we have our president, Nicole Jones. We welcome you and thank you. We have Yvonne Montel, a member. We have Sonia Calder, as well, another member. We have Claudette Kelly, a consultant. Dwight Gordon, as well, a member. And ourselves here, Adrian and Andrea. And regrettably, we do not have two members here this afternoon with us. So Derek Davis has put in a lot of time, as well as Simone Thomas. So we, wherever they are today, they couldn't be here, but they are definitely participated and did a lot in the background of putting this production together. We also wanted to let you know, as Get Outreach works, that we do have our chat in the chat, our information about who we are, our website, as well as our email, a way of contacting us should you need to receive any more information about what we do, and to see if we could partner with you as well. And we would like to also, really thank the following persons really took the time to make contributions to this event for Black History Month. And here they are as follows. We really want to thank Deputy Mayor Steve Anderson, Councillor Lindsay Wegner, Jessica Rowden, the Equity Advisor from Upper Grand District School Board,
Julia Black, who was able to be our singer and songwriter and spokesperson this day, that's working in the community in the music industry. Ronald and Claudette Kelly, pastors of North Peel Community Church and faith believers, also consultants to G.E.T Outreachworks. Althea Black, barrister and solicitor working in the community in Toronto and Peel region. Ellen Ukrin, the anti-oppressive facilitator. Jackie Maloney, a Black History ambassador. Xavion and Promise Robinson, who sang Lift Every Voice, while Natalie Smith did the spoken word. We also have a spoken word from Talisa Jones. Earl LaPierre, the international panist. We also want to recognize those that took part in our Speaker's Corner. We had Aria LaPierre, Donna and Camrick Williams, Heather Dickinson, Andrea Reed, Wendy Lawrence, and Karen Thomas. We would like to also thank and recognize our supporters that has worked with us last year as well as this year. We have Wilson Rowdy Publishing, Endeavor, Great Shots Media, Faith-Filled Apparel, Edubar Tutoring Service, Blackish Hair and Beauty Supply, Johnny's Pizza, Upper Grand District School Board, Seeds of Success, and Staples. And at this point, we have come to the end of our presentation today. And we want to just ask you to take care, be safe. And we want to encourage you once again to lift your voice and lift every voice. Take care. Bye-bye.